Hello everybody and welcome to SC2VN once again. This is the third, I believe, part. I don't know what part this is. I may be off completely. But anyway, last time we met some professional gamers and we kind of impressed them, I think. So we are about to go and join Jet for a training session to see if I'm overhyped. I kind of skipped a little bit of dialogue, so I'm not sure if that is going to make sense. But the point being is we're going to meet Jet, so yeah. Talking over games in person makes it easier to get feedback and improve. And that's what I need more than anything else. The sting from my failure at the VSL qualifier will take time to fade. I don't want to experience that pain ever again. I catch sight of Jet in the middle row, her attention locked on a ladder game. Without disturbing her, I take a seat at her side and watch the match unfold. Furious taps and clicks rattle her keyboard. Her focus never drops from the game, much less her monitor. She's ahead, though not by much. It's not long until she extends her lead in the late game, and a few minutes later heaves a sigh of relief when her opponent rage quits out. There's no need for me to consult my Korean skills to understand his final message. Zerg Imba. You actually showed. Color me surprised. How could I not? The better question is how you have the free time to practice with some amateur. I'm the charitable sort, obviously. Anyway, you're here, so let's stop wasting time. You've paid for your PC, yeah? I nod and log myself in at the station next to hers. A minute later, the two of us are grinding out practice matches. Game after game is a beatdown. I can't crack her defenses when I attack, and I'm barely holding on when she goes on offensive. She's just as unforgiving in pointing out my mistakes as she is in-game. Your wall at the ramp to the natural is trash. How the hell do you get away with this? You're asking to get busted. It's not something I really think about that much. I just throw it up, you know? Fix it or be punished. That probably wasn't an idle threat. Jet is the type of player capable of ending the game instantly if she can capitalize on the right kind of mistake. Her style has been characterized as both passive and reactive. She takes her time and watches her opponents, patient for the right moment to strike. She only takes a risk if it's calculated in her favor. Given her former success, the style has suited her well, though I can't help but wonder why she hasn't lately been performing at her previous level. Maybe she's lost her killer instinct. Guess not. A reminder of the skill difference between us rushes up the ramp to my natural expansion and crushes my wall, as promised. In the aftermath of the destruction, she swarms my base and seizes an easy win. Jet revels in her victory with a predatory smile. Wrecked. Before we get into the next game, I catch a sight of a familiar face coming into the cafe. Huh, isn't it the same guy from last night? Hey Jet, do you know who that guy is? I thumb in the stranger's direction as he passes by us, his attention occupied by a cell phone screen. Jet trails a look after him, wrinkles her nose, and shrugs. He's a KPGA player, Protoss. What about him? What about him? Come on, get into the game already. Seriously? He was at all-out attack yesterday. What's he doing outside of his team house 2 days in a row? They're only figuratively chained to their desks. Not all of them are shut-ins. Stop wasting time. Let's go. I double-take away from Jet to find the player in question seated a few rows in front of us. And he's got the StarCraft 2 client open. Why would a KPGA player spend his time practicing on anything but Brood War, huh? Should I ask him for a game? I think I'm gonna ask him for a game. What? No, hold on, wait, you can't just... But before she can stop me, I rise and shuffle my way past the rows of computers. Jet shoots me a withering glare over the top of her station before ducking back down. Even though I barely interacted with the guy, I can't help but feel a little anxious as I edge closer to his PC. Sure, he was a bit rude when we spoke, but the chance to challenge a KPGA player is too good to pass up, especially if I'm trying to step up my game. He's about to jump into a match when I cleared my throat right behind him. He subtly alt-tabs and then turns to regard me through half-lidded eyes. What? Excuse me, would you mind a practice game? He pauses. Recognition fills his face. You're the guy from All Out Attack yesterday, aren't you? I nod sheepishly. His only reaction is to stare on. For a moment, he looks ready to dismiss me and get to laddering, but at the last second, he nods. Alright, one game. With a final nod, I return to my station. A moment later, he and I share a game lobby and they're just about ready to begin. He's playing on a barcode account. Typical. How have I not still managed to catch this guy's name? A sharp tap against my headphones announces Jet's return in displeasure. You're obnoxious. If you lose and embarrass me by association, I'm gonna pretend I don't know you. Anything else Jet has to say is drowned out along with the sounds of Golden Zone Fire when I pull the earbud back on. If the idea behind practicing against a good player is to improve, I should probably play standard. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. He played as Protoss. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Still, the temptation to all in is always there. How sick would it be to grab a quick win on the KPGA player? I'm gonna play standard. It's probably best that I follow Jet's advice. I opt for a standard macro management game, this guy's build permitting. I take my natural expansion and begin ticking up. The match progresses quietly with only a few brief skirmishes with his stalkers and my marines. My scan shows that he's not doing anything out of the ordinary. One of us has to make a move sooner or later. I start constructing my starport and researching my bio upgrades. I'm surprised to find that they finished without any pressure coming from the Protoss army. This could be a good time to go for some drop play and try to snipe some of his critical tech buildings. If I were to play an aggressive drop style, I need to be confident in my control and in the fact that I can outplay him. On the other hand, the game has been exceptionally quiet. If I could get up another expansion, I'll have a serious economic advantage going into the late game. I'm not gonna take any risks here. This is something I've gotta earn. Dropship play is a defining characteristic of a top turn player. If I win with this, it's a good indication that I can stand toe-to-toe with the best players in Korea. It's time to put my practice to work. I gather enough units for an attack at my starport as the first dropship finishes. It's imperative he doesn't see me move out, so I make sure the watchtowers are clear and avoid places where Protoss players commonly leave their observers. When my dropship's starting to clear, I fly straight into his base. He's unprepared for the attack, and I unload all my units, rush to snipe some important tech buildings. With the damage to his infrastructure done, my units retreat for the safety of my dropship. That set him back a ton. The game is going incredibly well, so I decide to pull back on my aggression and build up an army for the final push. He's been too busy defending to get a decent standing army, and when I roll in with my mass units, he kites back, bobbing and weaving away from my forces while delivering potshots. I give chase, the taste of victory tantalizingly close. I manage to corner his army, leaving him with nowhere to run. But just as I move in to deliver the final blow, he flanks me with a half-dozen Templars, showering my army in high-damage storms. I pull back frantically, and my army is left in tatters. I try my hardest to gather enough units to mount a second offensive, but he continues to crush my attacks with only a handful of well-upgraded and well-microed zealots, stalkers, and archons. How the hell did this happen? My lead is gone. Frustrated, I box all of my workers and charge towards his base for a final attack. With my SCVs on the front lines, I should have enough power to take a direct engagement. I roll through his fourth base uncontested. Yes, he's giving me ground because he knows he can't face me. Emboldened, I drive up ramp, leading to his natural to end the game. And find myself face to face with an ambush. My front line evaporates before I can issue the command of retreat, and he crushes what remains of my army a few moments later. I can't believe it. I lost. I don't think I'm ever gonna win this, am I? I stare blankly at the screen for almost 10 seconds before I finally type GG and quit out of the match. I don't have long to sulk in defeat before the KPGA player makes his way over to me with a smirk. As promised, Jet is nowhere to be seen. Hey, you actually know how to play. Wasn't expecting that. I'd have to try. It's a compliment, regardless of how condescendingly he said it. Though it's difficult to be graceful in defeat, I tried my best anyway. I played my game the best I could. Kept the vision on you. Dropped when I could. But it wasn't enough. Sucks, man. It's one thing to lose carelessly, but it's another when everything goes as planned and you fail anyway. His grin darkens to one without humor. Is this guy serious? What the hell is your problem? You demand a game and whine when you get a little pushback? Look who's talking. Everyone knows your type. The foreigner out to make a name for himself. You fly out here on a whim and waste 6 weeks training. You aren't the first and unfortunately won't be the last. Your plane ticket doesn't buy you the right to call yourself a pro gamer. Save your money and your time and go back home. I feel the heat rise in my face, half in anger and half in embarrassment. I've never dealt well with confrontation. What a dick. Before I can say anything else, Jet steps out from around the corner and cuts between the two of us. Still great at making friends, huh, Bolt? He glances between the two of us, surprised. After a moment's pause, the so-called Bolt seizes back his smirk and meets Jet with a step forward. Been a while, hasn't it? What's a supposed Star League champion doing with trash like this? Bolt looks past her and tilts his head towards me. I take a step towards him, but with an open palm from Jet stops me from going any further. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised. Jumping ship to a scene bloated with foreign money has its upsides, but it won't be long before you forget the dignity of a pro gamer. The dignity of a pro gamer, huh? You make it sound so distinguished. You've changed for the worse, and you don't even realize it. How sad. Shouldn't be much longer till the KPGA finally accepts that there's no future in Brood War. You're smart enough to know what happens then. But hey, the scene could always use more casters. Whatever you say. For the record, what excuse did you give your coach for another day off? VIP's a little more lax than Shock T1, but I might want to borrow it someday. At that, Bolt scowls. Jet doesn't waste the opening and strikes again. Don't worry, Dong-san. I guess that's how you say it. I don't know. Is that like a curse word in Korean? Your secret's safe with me. Run along now. I'm sure you've got coins to flip or something. The standoff lasts a moment longer before Bolt lets out a lazy shrug, instantly killing off the intensity in his expression. I've got better things to do than offer advice to a mouthy chobo. Do what you want, kid. He thumbs his nose at me and returns to his station without another word. As soon as Bolt's out of sight, Jet takes my arm in a vice and practically drags me away. You had the game won! What the hell was that? An SCV pull at 15 minutes? This is what they teach you on the NA servers? Even after a heated confrontation, her concern is with the match before anything else. I almost laughed. My drops crippled him. I thought I would be enough to end the game. So build units for 2 minutes and then go roll him. Don't be so damn impatient. Your upgrades were late too. Her pointed critique diffuses the tension from moments prior, even if it doesn't exactly make me feel any better. When she's done going through my long list of mistakes, Jet flicks a hand back towards the PCs. Come on, queue up a game against me. So, making friends, or kind of friends, more like, helpful guides. I told Jet that I wasn't feeling up to practice after we played a few more one-sided games. She seems annoyed, but agreed with my suggestion to take a short break. Back in high school, I used to spend most of my time at the library when class was over. To be honest, this is probably the most time I've willingly spent outside of my room since then. I'm not the type to read for fun or study diligently, but it was nice to have a place to go and be on my own. I've missed those afternoons since I graduated. But Golden Zonefire is as good a replacement hangout as I could hope for. It's clean and comfortable, and has pretty much everything that I need to stay 24/7. That isn't an exaggeration. Some of the patrons here look practically glued to their chairs. With the milk tea from one of the vending machines in hand, I returned to my seat across from Jeb. She isn't wearing the same scowl from earlier, but I can tell she'd rather be practicing. What are you drinking? She snatches up the can across from her and takes a long sip. Coffee. What kind of coffee? Coffee is coffee. I don't drink sugary junk. And for the record, it's obvious to challenge someone you don't know. It's obvious to challenge someone that you don't know to a match. Is it really such a big deal? I just wanted to practice game against a good player. Seems harmless. Do you know those types that stream snipe and start shit on message boards so that people pay attention to them? More than a few come to mind. That's you, except you did it in real life. Cut me some slack. How did you know that guy anyway? His name was Bolt? Yes, he plays for Shock T1. Shock, huh? Bolt must be a new recruit. I haven't paid much attention to them or any of the Brood War teams since StarCraft 2 came out, but he definitely wasn't on their roster a year ago. Right, but how do you know him? Jet clicks her tongue and breaks her gaze away from me. I silently appreciate the reprieve from her death glare. If you must know, he and I went to the same middle school. I was in the class above him. Huh, okay. I was thinking he might have knocked you out of a tournament or something. No, I've never played him in a Star League. You don't need to overanalyze everything. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye for today. Thank you all very much for watching. I will be back with more SC2VN very, very shortly. Until next time, if you want to like or dislike this video, let me know what you thought of my reading. Do you think I should be more clear? Do you think I should do anything else differently? Let me know. I want to improve based on your feedback. And if you enjoyed my content, please subscribe. And yeah, until next time, I'll see y'all later.